Hey, and welcome to this online presentation that I'll be presenting on behalf of myself and Ragnhild Brøvig. And it's titled A Comparative Study of AI-Based versus Time-Tested Tools and Workflows in Music Production. AI tools open up incredible opportunities for artists and producers, but they also bring up some serious legal and ethical questions. And in this presentation, we'll start by giving you a practical overview over current AI tools available for composition, production, and music generation, and how they're being used today. And we'll also go through an AI music production made specifically for this paper and talk about how that's different from the way we used to make music. And then we'll discuss the common assumption that new technology is revolutionary and argue that changes often occur gradually. We'll also address some legal and ethical challenges that the use of AI in music may raise, and the common fear of machines taking over musical processes previously performed by musicians. So in this project, we've spent some time familiarizing ourselves with various AI tools for music creation and production. And then we utilize some of them to create a song. Like many of you, we incorporate a lot of these tools in our daily work. However, for this paper, we've conducted extensive research into what tools are available, consulting with students and colleagues in both production and academia. This allowed us to compile a comprehensive list of tools. And to approach this systematically, we categorized them as follows. Generative AIs, not a very scientific term, but a popular term. These tools are often prompt-based, but can also use existing files to create new content. For instance, one can generate a full music production by prompting, "I want a 70s disco track," or generate a single instrument or vocal track through prompts or by processing existing music files. Then you have another type of generative technology that generates MIDI instead of a full production. And MIDI, of course, is metadata that contains note information. And then large language models, which of course a lot of the generative AIs are based on the same technology. Large neural networks, and these LLMs, they include tools that many of us use daily and which are becoming increasingly sophisticated. An LLM can generate a master's thesis or a play in the style of Jon Fosse in just seconds. Some, like ChatGPT, are multimodal, meaning that they can simultaneously generate text, music, and even movies. So a lot of that technology isn't available to the general public yet, but the new models of ChatGPT, for example, have that possibility. Then you have a lot of AI-driven production tools. These are used for processes such as vocal processing, mixing, or mastering. You have stem separation tools that can divide a mix into individual stems, such as drums, bass, keys, guitars, and vocals. Transcription tools that can generate sheet music from audio files. So it makes it easier to write an arrangement from a demo, for example, or if you're playing a cover, it's easier, and also learning new material can be easier. There are a few AI integrated DAWs or digital audio workstations. For example, WAV tool can execute commands so that you tell it, can you create a backbeat in 110 BPM? And then you get a track with drums playing something like a backbeat, more or less like a backbeat, in the right tempo. There are several AI instruments that can generate sounds or modify existing ones using prompts. So I want a moody piano, and you get something that sounds like the lab piano. And these are also using generative technologies. You have sample generation AI tools that can create sounds or samples from prompts, or you can adjust existing sounds to fit a given prompt. These are a combination of generative tech and also just some kind of library search. So you can, some of these tools just they find sounds and modify them to fit, for example, a tempo or a pitch that you request. And a lot of the large sample libraries are assumably also using AI in their search algorithms. But we are not quite certain how that works. We haven't been able to dig that up, but it seems likely that there's some kind of AI in Splice's search algorithms. And then one more class that we haven't really written here, but this what we call consultants that can be used to, for example, listen to a mix or a master and give feedback. Mix checker is one of those. Is an example of that technology. And here is an overview of the tools that we identified in these categories. And while our list is extensive, it's not exhaustive. So we welcome any suggestions for additional tools that we may have missed. And then let's see what we can use these tools to do. We decided to create a chipmunk soul track, which might seem like a random choice of genre, but we have a tradition for using that style in our work together, Ragnhild and I. We began with Suno.ai. So usually a chipmunk soul track would be made from a soul sample, like late 70s, early 80s, and then sped up. So instead of using an existing track, we decided to generate a track using AI that had the right sound to be used as a base for a chipmunk soul track. So we used Suno AI. It's a web-based, prompt-based generative music AI. And for our song, we wanted a sample that sounded like an 80s style Chaka Khan track produced by David Foster. And Suno AI does not allow artist names in their prompts. So we crafted a descriptive prompt that yielded impressive results for the first attempt. Here's a 30-second sample of what we generated.
Under the flickering lights, I wander alone, searching for answers, a place to call home, caught in this whirlwind. Emotions collide in the city of broken hearts, where love tries to hide through the haze of the smoke-filled room. I hear your voice, it cuts through the blue, lost in the river, the soul of the night. Your touch on my skin like a guiding light.
Yeah, as you can hear, it's not exactly Chaka Khan, but a lot of the sonic markers are there. We then used Moises, stem separation software, to isolate different stems from the stereo file of the sample. So the stems would be drums separated, bass separated, guitar separated, vocal separated, and then experimented with pitch and tempo. Ultimately, we used the stereo file, the stereo sample, or just the audio file generated out of Suno as a sample, but this stem separation process was helpful in the creative process. Yeah, here's an example of how it works.
Love tries to hide through the haze of the smoke-filled room.
Yeah, so here you see how the different tracks are separated. Then we added the bass and drums manually in the old-fashioned way. I also tried to regenerate the bass, but that didn't work out very well. So instrumentation is mostly done just in a traditional old school, production way, because that was easier and quicker for just this creative process. And then we added some rapping, resulting in the following track. Just gonna play a little part of it.
Hey, yeah, 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 hey, let's go. I'm coming back from the city of the hearts. Keep it rolling. Yeah, check, check. Checking out from the city of broken hearts, where dreams shatter, crumble like a glass shard. Walking through these streets, echoes of lost souls, trying to find peace, but the darkness controls. I'm the phoenix rising, fire in our veins, escaping the chains, breaking from the pains. Every alley whispers secrets of despair, but I got the strength to rise up from the nightmare. Yeah, yeah.
You get the idea. You might recognize the voice as Eminem's. However, it's actually me rapping. I used Musicfy, a regenerative AI, to transform my voice into Eminem's. The use of his voice is royalty-free, as you can see in the slide here. That's what it says on Musicfy's webpage anyway. And so that allows us to, if we want to, publish this track on Spotify without any royalty issues. Musicfy only transforms the characteristics of the voice, so you can hear
Once a prisoner, now
the wonderful no English in all its glory.
No more tears, no more time.
To hesitate, the city's a battlefield, survivor is the main, but I'm a warrior embracing the pain.
Every verse I spit, a testament to my fight.
The lyrics were generated using ChatGPT. Create a lyric in the style of Eminem, and then with some with a lyric idea to fit the topic of the sample, or the topic of the lyric of the sample. And the adlibs are me taking on the voice of Notorious B.I.G. with the lyrics of the adlibs created by ChatGPT. For mixing, there are several AI tools available. I just didn't use them, as I'm more comfortable just doing it myself. And the results from trying out those tools will have to wait for another time. But we did use Isotope's Ozone and their AI assistant for mastering, which is of course very quick to use and very helpful. I'm not sure if the quality is fantastic, but it does make the tracks sound good. So, most of the AI tools used in this production perform tasks that aren't entirely new. When faced with new technology, our first instinct is often to declare it revolutionary. But we should acknowledge that while some of these tech mechanisms are new, they're usually applied to already explored procedures. Take AI automation in music, for instance. Back in the 80s, digital reverb and delay units offered spatial presets. Then, in the 90s, digital samplers allowed turntable techniques such as juggling between records and to be performed via buttons and using samples instead of playing from vinyl. And digital mixing boards enable automated mix adjustments. The AI achievement of perfect sounding stems surpasses previous track separation methods, but we could achieve decent results even before AI, for instance by using phase cancellation. An AI-driven sound-to-sound generation shares similarities with songification and Vocaloid tech. Songifications make familiar voices sing new lyrics and melodies by rearranging vocal fragments in pitch and timing. Various Vocaloid synthesizes voice samples to perform vocal lines at users' request. History teaches us that new technology often seems groundbreaking at first, but in reality, changes occur gradually. New tech tends to be applied to familiar processes, leading to incremental changes rather than sudden shifts. And this conservative approach, caused by our natural tendency to maintain continuity, allows for smoother adaptation and integration, which in turn often makes the technology's impact more sustainable. Although changes happen gradually, there is no denying that AI presents some unprecedented challenges. The quality of AI-generated music and sounds is unmatched in history. Despite 4 decades of grappling with the challenges posed by musical sampling, we still lack sufficient solutions to distinguish between appropriation and plagiarism. So how do we tackle even more complex issues that AI introduces? AI doesn't just sample or replicate, it trains new models from existing works and uses others' voices to generate new material. When generating samples, some services, such as Suno, don't allow you to mention artist names in your prompts. At first glance, this might seem to mitigate plagiarism. However, as we demonstrated, if you want to mimic the music of a specific artist, you can still achieve a very similar result by giving detailed and specific prompts that allude to an artist's work. So the question arises, can this then be counted as plagiarism? When we used ChatGPT to generate musical lyrics with the prompt create a rap lyric in the style of Eminem and ad-libs in the style of Notorious B.I.G., the result was impressively accurate. However, even if the tool is trained on the music of the artists mentioned, the generated content isn't a direct copy of their work. This raises an important question. Is the use of the generated result illegal, even if it isn't a direct copy? Or is it the training of the AI on the artist's work that might be illegal, leaving the user of the tool innocent? The sound-to-sound generation tool, Musicfy, attempts to inform users about the presumed legal status of the voice model by displaying the question, do I own licensing and copyright? If you use one artist's voice, the response might be, no, you do not own commercial rights to the audio, only for personal use. However, using another artist might lead to the answer, yes, if you are on a paid plan, you own all rights to the audio. While this might seem to clarify the legality of the use, there are still questions about the agreements Musicfy has made and with whom. Even if Musicfy has resolved copyright issues with the copyright holders of the artist's music, might it still be problematic regarding the artist's personality rights, since it is their voice being used rather than their music? Many turn to copyright and personality law for solutions, but our current laws weren't designed to handle these issues. And updating laws is a slow process. Questions like, hey, what are the royalty splits of the song that I wrote using an AI? Often yield unreliable answers or no answers at all, because these issues are still unresolved. However, some private companies are already addressing practical challenges, notably with several employing AI. This shows that the real threat to music may not be the technology itself, but rather how it is applied. Although AI poses crucial challenges in terms of copyright and personality rights, it is important to recognize that common worries and resistance related to AI are rarely about the technology itself, but rather specific processes and musical outcomes. Often, such worries intertwine with broader concern about the commodification of music, specifically that AI-generated content meets consumer demands at the expense of hardworking musicians. In other words, the real concern isn't about AI, but about broader systems of capitalism and exploitation, which have always been a challenge for musicians. However, we should remember that changes in procedures and aesthetics are as much a result of human intervention as technological innovation. We often overestimate technology's power to shape the future, forgetting the crucial role of human agency and adaptability. Such perspectives border on technological determinism, echoing romantic fears of machines taking over. New technologies have always led to fresh approaches and aesthetic expressions, yet we have consistently challenged ourselves to push the boundaries of human skills, creativity, and expressiveness. Music has always been and will continue to be the collaboration or amalgamation between humans and machines. It was great to do this online presentation. Looking forward to meet you.